Okay, for this module, I'd like to lay the groundwork of helping establish the right kind of mindset and to kind of help start shifting your belief systems, your brain into a place where that you feel more confident in your ability to, well, just change the way you think, change the way you feel, and change the way that you're acting and behaving. So, kind of, if you've done any of my courses before, if you've talked with me before, one of the biggest things that I advocate for, I push for, is journaling. And not just any kind of journaling, though there are so many different kinds of journaling that can be super helpful and beneficial for you. The type of journaling I'm talking about is based on a, a method by Dr. Caroline Leaf. She's a kind of brain guru. She's done a lot of research and done a lot of experimentation in the realm of how does the brain work. She's kind of examined brain scans and experimented the way of how do we change the way our brain functions and works, and kind of in a way that we retrain the brain and reform the brain, literally change the way that it's structured and it kind of functions and thinks and connects with all the internal, the mental, emotional, and physical realms. Her way of doing this is to kind of break down into a 5-step pattern of journaling and writing. So, on a daily basis, that takes only about 10 minutes every day to then slowly, over a period of weeks and months, change your belief systems, change the way your brain kind of the neural networks and pathways that your brain has that you've developed over years and years and maybe months and months and so much time of thinking a certain way and doing things a certain way to help shift that into a way that is more functional, a way that is more beneficial, and where you can really feel that progress being made. So, step one, gather awareness. And what this means is you just start to sit and kind of be aware of what's going on internally, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Kind of shifting, kind of separating those three areas in your mind and just kind of becoming aware. So, gathering awareness. Step two, reflect. Start to think about those things that you are worrying about, you're stressing about, the way that you think, the way that you stress, the way that kind of your brain is kind of functioning and thinking about this so that you can just start to gather the pieces. It's like laying a puzzle on the table. One is kind of just being aware of what puzzle you're going to be doing. Two is kind of laying it out all on the table and kind of looking at what you got. Step three is writing. So the first two steps aren't even kind of sitting down and writing in a journal. And now the journal can be a 25-cent notebook at the store, or it can be the more leather bound, kind of hard paper kind of stuff, or whatever you can find. I would encourage handwriting. Just because the act of writing out, the coordination that takes, and kind of being able to see what you're writing, and kind of then to maybe even slow down as you're writing and thinking, helps activate parts of the brain, all the different parts of your brain, to help better kind of work through this issue. And so we want all that brain power being geared and focused towards this one thing and working on it. So, step one, gathering awareness, sitting down, laying the puzzle pieces out. Step two, looking at what you got there. Step three is starting to write what you're seeing. Start to write down what you're thinking, what you're feeling. And what I encourage people to do is write it as you think it. So, if you're all over the place, here, there, everywhere, that's fine. That's perfect. Write what's coming into your mind as it's coming into your mind and start to kind of see if there's any patterns or anything that's kind of really grabbing your attention in this, let's say, session of writing or another. So just write it as you kind of see it. Write as you think about it. Write as it comes. Put it down. If you kind of, if it's the more emotional words, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that, I'm feeling this. Worried about here, worried about this. Great. If it's the thoughts of memories, ideas, images, put those down and take some time, 5 minutes, to write out what's going on, what's on that table of puzzle pieces that you've got going on up here. The fourth step is to recheck, reflect, go over that what you've just written, reread it out loud if you want to hear it, but kind of going through and seeing if there's things that you would change. Right? Be like, you know what, this is a cognitive error. This isn't right. This isn't what I want to be thinking. I don't like this. And start to make changes. You can scratch things out. You can erase things. You can rewrite over it or around it, and kind of just make adjustments to the way that you're thinking, the way that you're seeing the world, the way that you got it there, and things that you would like to be different. So, gather awareness, reflect, write, recheck. The last one is active reach. This is such an important step. Right? We can reflect and think and meditate and all day long and become professors in some college university. Though when rubber hits the road, when what we're thinking about, what we're feeling, what we're experiencing, what we're writing about then actually takes life in our life, that's when big changes start to happen up here and then in here. So this last step in her 5-step program or method is active reach, doing something towards your goal, picking something based on what you've written, based on what you've thought about, one thing. It can be 1% change, one thing that you've seen in that you really want to commit to change that day. Now, this might not be forever, for the rest of your life. It might be, but if not, if it's just, in the next 24 hours, I want to do this differently. For the next little bit, this is one little adjustment, whether that be a thought, I'm going to think more appreciatively, or an action. You know what? Every time I sit at my computer, every time I go to pay my bills, every time I do something stressful, I'm going to take a nice, long, deep breath. Settle down, or whatever it is that you need to do based on what you've been writing. Deciding based on all this again, 10 minutes, nothing too extravagant, nothing too long or too big. The last 10 minutes, one thing that I'm going to commit to do today or for the next 24 hours so that I can improve a little bit. Little by little, again, over several weeks, your brain is going to start to see that this is what you want and will start to make changes and start to think differently and be formed differently and believe differently. And that kind of helps get to the more subconscious, non-conscious part of your brain to help change the way that you interact with the world. Now, if you can't remember those 5 steps, which, I mean, it's just 5 steps, pretty simple, I usually kind of go into my own adapted version to kind of just simplify it, to kind of help split those 5 into kind of 3 different sections. So one is meditate, kind of just becoming aware, being mindful of what's going on in you and around you, and thinking about these things and just kind of meditate that. Now, for me, this can mean like you're meditating throughout the day, you're thinking about a topic, something you read, something you're thinking about, something you're praying about, meditating about it, and kind of having that go on in your mind, just being very aware of a topic. Now, if it's something that causes you a lot of anxiety, you're already meditating about that. You're ruminating, you're worrying about that. Might not be so effective, but you're thinking about it, right? So meditate. 2 is writing. So just the same, that second section is to write about what it is that's going through your mind as it comes to your mind. So taking time to kind of point out those things as they come to your mind, put it all on the table again, and go through and write it. Bad grammar, bad kind of form, bad words, whatever you want to put on this, write it out. Put it on the page. Take some time to do paragraph, a page, whatever you can do in just that short period of time. And then, as you're writing and thinking and kind of focusing on this, for me, that last step, again, is taking action. Taking steps towards the person you want to be, taking steps towards the action that needs to happen, knowing what you need to do based on what you've been meditating and writing about. Choose one thing to do something about, to change, to adjust. And as you make that adjustment, you will start to see, little by little, aligning your actions and behaviors with who you want to be, your values, your principles. So this is the groundwork for dealing with anxiety and coping and processing. Journaling is such a powerful tool because it hits on both of those pillars of any mental health. It can be a way of coping with what's going on right now, what you're dealing with right now, and as you take action and as you dig in deeper, you'll be processing things from the past and changing those things in a way that is productive and embracing your experience, your history, your life, so that you can then interact with the world right now so much differently. Take time today to get a journal, look for a journal, start on your phone, start on a computer, start somewhere, and start writing, start meditating, start reflecting on this topic and putting those things in a real physical form so that you can read it, reflect on it, recheck it, and take action towards who you want to be or against who you don't want to be. So take some time, start today, write a little bit, 5 to 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be long. but take some time and really just do it. Commit to it. We've got this.